Hello, awesome people! I hope you're having a great day today. Today we have to take a look at the next trilogy called Nomad of the Time Streams in the Eternal Champion series. It's published, but this is collected by Borealis Legends. I'll link you to it in the collections, in the comments below, so that way you can go ahead and check it out if you're interested in it and so forth. I purchased the two novels in this collection at used bookstores, the first two novels, The Warlord of the Air and The Land of Leviathan, but I never actually read them. And then I bought this and replaced those, and now I knocked it out here for the first time. I bought it when I was doing a deep dive into Michael Moorcock in 5 years. He was my favorite author in the last 3 years of high school and the first 2 years of college, before H.P. Lovecraft became my next favorite author in college. And after I started doing a deep dive into his stuff, right, and such. So the first short story in this, so this is the Oswald Bastable. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but I hope so. Books. He is a character from like 1903. And we'll be following his short story in The Warlord in the Air, the first novel in this, and then he will and then some things will happen, and he will be flung through time, as you can tell from a Nomad of the Time Streams concept of the novel series and such. And so basically what's going to wind up happening is that each of these three things are going to describe alternative Earths that are set multiverse, right? And Oswald is going to go from one to the next and such, based on key things that are happening in each event and so forth. He starts out as this very, very pro-British Empire guy over in India. He is leading a detachment of Indians that are under the British Empire and Sikhs that are under the British Empire too, and he is leading them in a military engagement to a nearby warlord who has started attacking the locals, and obviously the British Empire wants to protect him and so forth. So he's leading that engagement. So basically, the idea is to teach him to knock it off, so that way they'll stop attacking his stuff, right? So that's what's happening, and so forth. He is invited into their camp rather than attacking them, and so forth with some people. So he goes into the camp. It's set in a temple up in the in India proper, and then he has some various things that are happening and such. He ends up going through time here at the temple. They're also their headquarters, and it's like a palace and a temple combined, if you will, of this military group and organization and such. And then they end up going through time into a different place that's set in the 70s. And then the world will have all these airships, which you'll see. And so you see the cover here. That's actually set in this place in the world, the Warlord of the Air, and such. So that's what's basically happening for folks. This book has a lot of main characters that we know from our world, sort of reconceptualized, if you will, for those folks. So that's the Warlord of the Air for you folks. It's fun. I'm glad I read it for the first time. It's 149 pages, and I just so this past week I went to Birmingham for a work convention and such. So I read, and I fly through Charlotte here from Baltimore, and so on Monday I flew down. I read 40 pages in the flight to Charlotte. I read 40 pages from the flight to Birmingham, so I knocked out 80, and so I just finished the last 70 pages then that night after arriving in Birmingham, because there wasn't a lot to do because the conference didn't start till Tuesday, so I knocked it out. So I did it in one day, although in 3 settings, if you will, one day. So it didn't take that long, like a lot of these things. And 149 pages is a lot. I mean, this is the length of a real novel, right? It's like 423 pages long, right? So it's not even. There are novels that are published today that are longer than that, right? Some of the reasons why I like going back and rereading Michael Moorcock's stuff, because it's just so fast. The next books are 130 pages long. I did 60 pages the first day, last Tuesday, and then on Wednesday finished it in 70 pages, right? So I just blew through this in 6 days, if you will. But the Warlord of the Air is fun. I liked it. I'm glad I read it. Oswald Bastable is again. Michael Moorcock does a lot of things. The sort of the key concept here is that colonialism is bad, right? And so there's going to be a lot of the things that happen here that we're going to find out about, right? So that's basically what's happening. The Warlord of the Air, 149 pages for you. So I hope you enjoyed it. So I'm giving this probably like an 8 out of 10. It's Michael Moorcock and so forth. And although probably, actually, I don't think about it, probably more like a 7.5 out of 10. It's Michael Moorcock. He's a classic and such. And these works, but these works aren't exactly, known as the best of the best. And there's a reason why a lot of people probably don't talk that much about Oswald Bastable. When I talk to fans and such, I don't typically lead with, Oswald Bastable, that's my favorite Eternal Champion, right? And such. I'm probably going to move that for probably more than a 7.5 now that I think about it. But there you go. As a reminder, Michael Moorcock was hugely influential on modern stuff, as you know. He had big hits like Elric, the anti-hero from a race that's of dark elven creatures, now called money beans. He has some sorcery and some evilness from that evil race, but he actually has pangs of consciousness, like Straight. He has a sword called Stormbringer that will drain the souls from the people that it smashes to sustain him, to regain his power and heal him and stuff, right? And those are obviously two key things. The multiversal conflict is definitely seen on these 3 planes in these 3 stories of law versus chaos, and is actually started to call out later on as it goes through the short story. So that's the Warlord of the Air, 7.5 pages. It's heavily influential. Michael Moorcock stuff, for example, is in Appendix N, and by Gary Gygax, right? Who's somebody who's pretty big in the name, right? So he's heavily influential, and his law versus chaos aspects are definitely seen today, rather than good versus evil of Tolkien a generation before. So there you go. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this one, hit that subscribe button. There should be a lot more of these to follow. If you've read it, let me know what you think about it, and so forth. As a reminder, the channel's name is The Worst Thing About New Books, which is a quote by our French philosopher Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about new books was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? So therefore, that's pretty fun stuff. This is definitely an older work, right? It was published in the 70s. Before I was born in 76. And so there we go. And just so finally, I just want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.